Next up, we're going to talk about the introduction of Agile and its relevance in software development. For our company, we are strictly a software company as far as someone that brings a problem to us. We look at the feasibility and then how do we solve that problem based on the technology that is available. What is Agile? Agile is a project management methodology that emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and iterative development. Agile increases adaptability and reduces risk in software development. In Agile software development, if you were to take an idea and just keep creating, but the problem is that you don't stop in between to get user feedback, you pretty much are going to cause an issue where you're going to have the client not happy with what the end result is. And that's what Agile is. Agile allows you to pretty much create user stories that we would call the most valuable product or MVP to be able to allow the customer to launch a product based on the basic features. And then as you go on with the software development cycle, you end up adding additional features in the future that will add value, which will ultimately add additional resources and revenue for that company. So let's look at this right here. This is just a quick chart. The difference between Agile and waterfalls, linear and sequential versus iterative and incrementals. Waterfall, you start from task A to task B to task C, and every single one stops at that point and you move on to the next. With Agile, you work in sprints where you work in a 2-week sprint based on either budget or story points, and you work it in iteratives and incremental. It has fixed phases for waterfall. So you have the requirement, design, build, test, and deploy. Unlike in Agile, you have sprints and iterations. With waterfall, it's difficult to implement changes versus Agile welcomes changes anytime. Testing after build versus continuous testing and feedback. And that's what I mentioned in the beginning. Risk identification up front, whereas risk addressed iteratively. As you start building a new sequence of the application, that's when you can identify risks that may come about as you're working during that sprint. Best for clear fixed requirements versus best evolving requirements. So the Agile principles. Agile is a project management approach that focuses on flexibility and collaboration. The Agile Manifesto values individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Agile methods prioritize and respond to change over following a plan. Agile, it is a segment of work. So you can be able to provide something as soon as possible to the client so that way they can either A, start testing it or put it into production and build upon that production app. The manifesto for Agile software development. Agile values individual and interactions, working software, customer collaboration, and responding to change. It prioritizes and delivering value quickly. And that's ultimately it. As a project manager, that's what you want to be able to provide to the client as soon as possible, is to provide them the most basic functions of the features of the application, but allows them to be able to utilize it immediately to see value. Scrum framework. Scrum is an agile framework that delivering in complex products. Scrum encourages frequent inspections and adaptation. The 3 roles in Scrum are the product owner, Scrum master, and the development team. So as a project manager, you will be taking on a project manager, Scrum master role in understanding how to build out the epics, user stories, and then the tasks, and then the subtasks. So that way you can start to finish as a sprint's happening during your sprint planning, you generate and you build that out. You work with the team and the subject matter experts to identify exactly what they need to get after. And then how do you categorize and how do you calculate those points going down the list? Benefits of Agile is Agile promotes collaboration, teamwork, and flexibility in software development. It encourages adaptability to change, requirements, and customer need. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation has inspired you to explore the benefits of Agile methodology in your software development projects. We're going to be continuing on, but as we go through these courses, you're going to see me presenting actual videos in our lab and our real live environment of what you're going to learn through our Google Drive and how do we categorize, how do we calculate and collaborate with developers based on our Agile framework.